Hi, everyone. It's Tevis, and this is a really special edition of Game Changer Chats. I'm going to be talking to various fighters and the Bare Knuckle Fighting Club. And we are kicking off today, basically just kind of celebrating their stories because it's an unknown sport to a lot of people. To a lot of other people, it's huge and it's part of their lives. So I want to get to know these fighters and how they ended up doing it because it's definitely a game change. So you guys, what are your names and how did you get into all this?
All right, I'll start first. My name is Joey Beltran, and I've actually been fighting professionally since 2007, but I fought for like, I don't know, 12 or 13 years or so in MMA. So
oh, wow.
Cage fighting for casual people. Casual fan.
Casual.
See the people in the cages? That was me. I did that. And I fought at the highest levels. I fought in the UFC and Beltran, the two big shows you see on TV. And then I actually thought I was retired. Went through some personal hardships. Fell really, really hard into drugs and alcohol and had to check myself into rehab.
Good for you.
And then I went, did that. And overall, it was like about 17 months that I went without fighting. I thought I was retired. And then one of my old coaches kind of hit me up. And he's like, hey, you wouldn't be interested in doing this bare knuckle stuff, would you? I was like, it sounds kind of fun to me, man.
Had you heard of it?
I had. Yeah. So bare knuckle boxing had already been going on in England for a while. And of course, it's the original style of
original
boxing.
Form of boxing,
Original form. So the appeal of being part of something historical, the first time in over 120 years that it was going to be allowed and sanctioned in America.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty awesome. So
yeah,
I was like, yeah, why not? Let's see what happens.
So I got to ask you my favorite question to ask anybody, right? And that is, when you were a little one, what was your very favorite thing to do? Like, what was the thing that made you the happiest as a little kid?
What's funny is watching pro wrestling.
So you were hooked from
yeah. It's funny. I remember the first time going to watch pro wrestling. My uncle took me to San Diego Sports Arena, in San Diego, California.
Yeah.
And the main event was Andre the Giant versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I remember because back then I was little, no one had ruined it for me. I thought that was real. I thought they were fighting for real. So I was like, this is what I want to do.
Wow.
And looking around at all the crowd and people going crazy, like, I want to do this. I was like, it was sparked then real early. So.
What do you feel like you had to overcome? You've obviously had a lot of success, right? I mean, you fought in MMA, and now you're extremely accomplished here. I mean, what does it take? Because I don't care what you do. I don't care if you are a copywriter. I don't care if you're a boxer. I don't care if you're a musician. No matter what you do, there's a lot of people that want your spot, right? What do you feel like it's taken you to really stick with it and to believe in yourself? Because I hear the piece about addiction, right? And I think a lot of people who strive to succeed have to struggle with self-doubt. And so we self-medicate,
Absolutely.
Right? But what do you feel like the demons were that you had to overcome to now be here today, clean, about to be scanned, to do a 3D version of bare knuckle fighting, which is totally groundbreaking. Like, what did it take you to get through all that?
Well, I mean, it just took just an enormous self-belief and an unbreakable will. Really, I mean, just having my mom be an example. Rewind, a little rewind. My dad, my father left the house, left us when I was 4.
Yeah.
I remember very vividly when that happened. And I also remember my mom, not crying and just being iron, just stone faced and just getting to work and having multiple jobs. And it sucked because I never saw my mom.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean,
same thing happened to me.
Yeah, we were never needed anything. And I always remember too, even growing up, I would get so mad. I'm like, Mom, why can't we go on welfare? All our friends have it and they get all kinds of free stuff. You know,
and they get to see their mom.
Yeah,
Right?
and my mom was just like, no,
She would
like,
not.
absolutely
Yeah.
not. Like, it just wasn't part of the question. You know,
Yeah.
it was out of the question. You know, so just having that iron will and determination, and then, you know, but I mean, I overcame a lot of things. You know, in high school, I terribly injured, tore both ACLs in my knees playing high school football.
Yeah.
You know, and so from 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, I didn't really do anything athletically. And then it was about 24, I was like, oh, I started training again, started boxing to lose weight. And I was like, I'm pretty good at this. I think I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. And like the dream was like rekindled. And then once I did it, like it's just having a supreme commitment. Like there was no plan B. There can't, for me, I found there couldn't be a plan B. I just had to, this is what I was going to do. And you know, even like a few years later on and afterwards, like being in the UFC, being in Beltran, and like losing, you know, sometimes 2 fights in a row, only one time 3 fights in a row. Like, man, maybe I should like wrap it up, you know?
Wow.
And then like no, like I had a dream, like I was gonna be the world heavyweight champion.
So the minute that you had been beaten 3 times, you had to dig deep and say, no, this is my dream. I'm
Correct.
not going to give up. So you literally had to say that to yourself. Yeah. See, I think that is so cool because I know all of us have days that no matter what our dream is, we want to give up, right? And we get all down and mopey and, you know, all that crap. And that ability to remind yourself that it's literally a moment of self-talk, right? It's like, no, freaking get up, right? Fight, right? So I think that's really awesome. You did not say your name.
Joey Beltran.
Joey Beltran. I love your story, Joey.
Thank you.
And I hope I get to see you in action.
Beautiful.
Okay. And this is your beautiful wife?
Fiance.
And tell me your name.
Yes, so my name's Britain Hart.
And Britain, how did you get into all this?
Yeah, so basically I kind of say for me, I started pro boxing when I was 25. So it was in 2015, 2016 when I really
You
first
don't
started.
look that old.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good skincare or something. I'm not sure.
Well, I was just saying, I think that I'm a grown-up child. I probably will be for the rest of my life. So I kind of have that in me, but you know, it's definitely a good thing. So I think it shows. So thank you.
Well, so tell me about you. I mean, it's not that common for women to fight. I mean, I know that there's an industry of it, but out of the general population, it's not as common as say, I want to do whatever, right? What did you love to do as a little kid?
Yeah, so I grew up really differently. I grew up over in Germany. And so like one of my favorite things to do was to climb trees and be outside and play sports. So I actually played soccer over in Germany, which they take extremely serious. So for me, I was just already engulfed in sports at a young age and what it meant to have self-discipline, leadership, teamwork, you know, camaraderie, all those kind of ideas that sports build. Yeah. It really built me younger. And I didn't really think of myself as being a girl or a female. It was just, that's what I love to do. Yeah. And I was really passionate about it. And so it stayed with me. Like I played, you know, my parents would tell you that I used to come home with snakes and scorpions in my pocket and be like, look what I found. Like I was always really adventurous in testing my limits on what I could break through on. Yeah. So then coming over to the United States, it was definitely an adjustment period. I was definitely different and kind of outcasted. But it was then sports that kind of sealed that bridge because when everyone realized how good I was athletically, they started accepting me even though I was different and not raised like they were. So then that kind of just made me more who I was. And I kind of used that, you know, I was definitely always, you know, some people call it stubborn and problem with authority, but you know, I think it was me being independent. And
well, I kind of love it that, cause I've done a lot of these talks, right? And one thing I find over and over and over again is whatever it is that brings our heart alive is usually the thing that helps us break through with other people. And so I love it that sports, you naturally were drawn to it. And then lo and behold, that's how you got friends and got acceptance, right? And I think that's really super cool. So how did boxing and bare knuckle, I mean, how did that happen?
Yeah, well, it kind of continues on that train, like that story. Like I've had I really feel like I've gone through any and everything that you can in one's life. But I was doing really good and I was really passionate and happy with being bridged together through sports. So I actually went to school and got my master's in sport management because I love it so much. And like you said, if you love something, I graduated with a 4.0. You know, I was in all the honor societies. I did really good. But nothing hits harder than life. And I ended up, you know, I was in a really abusive relationship and that caused some problems.
Of course.
And then I got put into the legal system.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things, like a lot of people from small towns, they say, once you get in the legal system, you don't get out. So
yeah,
it was kind of going back and saying, you know, I remember like, it broke my heart, but saying like, you know, this is the last time I'm going to be here. And then I'd be in jail next week.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily me doing anything wrong. It was just being around the wrong people, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And to me, I still feel like, you know, putting my heart first and following my heart sometimes ended up making really bad, poor decisions and took a lot of work to get out. So it ended and landed me up in a boxing gym because I had no place to go. And the only thing I had left that I was good at was sports. And here I am, a 25-year-old adult, you know, that just finished her degree. And now no one will hire me because I have other implications going on.
Yeah.
What am I going to do to solve this? And so I ended up being in a boxing gym. It was really good. And they were like, you know, this is your, you know, means to an end. You can make money doing this and you're really good and you can be a voice for women and an advocate and really change the world in women's sports. And I really believed that. I truly believed it. And as soon as I walked into the ring, it was like the shoe fit. It was like I knew why I went through all those bad things to happen to me was to lead me to that boxing ring.
I freaking love it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just wanted to be the best boxer I could be. And that's when Bare Knuckle reached out to me. And I was like, you know, I just really want to focus on boxing. But they kept reaching out to me. And I found myself asking people, like looking for validation for it. And some people would say, yeah. And some people would be like, you're crazy. No. And the more I asked for it, the more I thought again, damn my heart. But I you know, I do always listen to it and follow it. And I was like, I wouldn't ask people their opinions if I didn't want to do it. So I'm just going to do it. And that's when I went against Beck Rawlings for the main event in the second BKFC. I lost a split decision, but bam, rewind or fast forward. Then I was in one of the biggest events, Knucklemania, going against, again, as a main event, a UFC superstar, Paige Van Sant, and I won. So just kind of even showing that message, like to never give up. And even when things don't go your way, if you stay at it and work hard enough, eventually it will come around full circle. So that's why I love being in the Bare Knuckles circle ring.
Oh my God, you just dished up so much wisdom in like 30 seconds. It's crazy. The thing I want to really hone in on that anyone can learn from, right, from you is if we're asking other people's opinion, it's probably because we want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think that's so freaking genius. But the other thing too is the fact that when you would hear people say what you wanted to hear or didn't want to hear, like I always think that's a moment to kind of shut everything out as you did and say, what's my heart's truth? Because you went through the same thing. Like, what's my truth? What's my truth? What's my truth? And it's so funny. The other thing I love that you said, which is not true, is you said, because I wasn't good at anything else. And from what I'm hearing, you've been very good at anything you've ever set your mind to. So I'm going to say that wherever you end up right now, 5 years from now, I know you're going to be the best. So thanks you guys so much for taking time. This is super helpful. And how can people find you? Are you on Insta? Like what are you doing in the social world so people can follow you around like baby ducks?
All right. So I'll take it first and then I'll hand it off to Joey. But you can find me at Team Britain Hart on Instagram. You know, my Facebook I kind of keep for my friends and family, but my Instagram is definitely out there. I have a TikTok too, which I feel like I started, you know, back in the day and Musically. So I want to give a shout out. But all my things are the same. Team Britain Hart on Instagram.
Spell
Twitter.
it though, because you speak fast.
Oh yeah,
and
no.
I'm slow. I got the Southern accent.
So I say it's Britain just like the country. So
okay.
Britain.
Yep.
and then Hart, H-A-R-T.
Okay.
So you just Team Britain Hart.
Okay, great.
And you'll get me on my 3 main accounts.
Okay,
So.
great.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Joey Beltran, BELTRAN _ MMA, Joey Beltran _ MMA. And that's probably the best one because that one's actually linked to Facebook, so you're gonna get the same thing over there. All right, so yeah, that's basically the one I run with.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking time. I really love talking to both of you. So thank you.
It was nice. It was real nice. Thank you.
Cool.